Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Maheshwari Sangoli, Senior Medical Officer from Healthville. So today we are here to talk about intermittent fasting. I hope you all are staying safe, all are following government norms, maintaining the social distance and maintaining the hygiene, personal hygiene, and all are staying safe at home at this pandemic. Uh, I serve at a hospital which is Eastern India's biggest nature cure center. Currently, we are not operating to maintain the social distancing, and that's the reason we are coming over online and we are trying to share as much information about health and healthy lifestyle as much possible. As I told earlier, today I'm going to talk about intermittent fasting. Okay, so the first thing, let us understand our body. We have our healing power, right? When we talk about health, we talk about disease. In the same way, I'm talking about the healing power, which is in turn going to say the health is holistic. Okay, so it is not like we get disease with one thing or we can get treated with one thing. It's not like that. Health is holistic. If we have to be healthy, we have to take care our healthy eating and our healthy lifestyle, including exercise and how active we are, everything, and our stress levels, our relationships. So each and everything is important to be healthy. So our health is holistic, so we take every point we need to look into to be here. Okay, and I was talking about the healing power. So what is this healing power? So we have what is called prana. Okay, we have a vitality, the prana. So we have that innate power to heal any illness we have. This is what we believe in naturopathy. Okay, so this healing power, this vitality what we have, we can preserve, and this can be we can preserve this and we can help our immunity or the vitality by giving an opportunity, by eating healthy, by following a healthier lifestyle. It's like a miraculous machine, the body what we have. So in the healing power, it doesn't know the name of disease what we have. It doesn't know we have diabetes or PCOD or anything. It only knows we have an illness and it will start working. So as much as possible, we should make sure that we give that supportive measure, the healing power. We need to help the body to heal itself. So one of the measure what we can help our healing power, we need to give an opportunity, right? So we need to give our body to heal itself. One thing what we can do is through the fasting. Okay, so that is one of the measure. Before getting into the fasting, I would like to talk a little bit about the digestion process. So we all have learned it in our school days, how the digestion happens, and about the how what food happens. So whenever we take any food, right, whenever we take a food, whatever the amount and whatever the time it could be, so the first thing what our body does is, once it enters the stomach, the digestion process starts. So what does it mean? So I am talking the process of digestion in the energy terms here. Okay, so whenever we start to eat, lot of energy, the body could be doing so many other function, but it will stop everything. Most of the energy goes to the digestion, and the body, the stomach starts to digest the food what we have taken. So it takes lot of energy to digest. Okay, so all the energy diverts to the stomach once we eat the food, and it starts digesting. So this will take some amount of time based on what food we have eaten. Okay, so like for example, fruits or vegetables, this will be getting digested between 2 to 4 hours or 6 hours. Once you start eating grains, this will take up to 8 to 12 hours to digest. Overall, the digestion process I'm talking about. And if we take any animal products like non-vegetarian foods, this will be inside the body. The digestion process takes up to 72 hours. It will stay inside the body for 72 hours. So the kind of food we eat is the digestion process depends on what kind of food we take. So the pace depends on the kind of food. So once the digestion happens in the stomach, next the food moves to the small intestine, right, where the absorption of the nutrients takes place. Whatever we have eaten, the absorption takes place in the small intestine. So once that happens, then the food moves from the small intestine. So in the small intestine, the energy will be little less. Unlike how the stomach, the digestion happens in the stomach, it won't take that much of time in the small intestine. I mean, it won't take that much of energy. It will take lesser energy to absorb. After the absorption in the small intestine, it moves to the large intestine, where the process of elimination starts. Okay, whatever the food we have taken, the elimination process starts in the large intestine. So the energy what it takes to eliminate is much lesser. So in that process, we need much lesser energy to the process of elimination to happen. So this is about the process of digestion and how much of energy it actually takes whenever we take any kind of food. So, and as I told, it varies with what kind of food we actually take. So why I'm saying this is, just imagine, visualize, you have taken a breakfast at 9 o'clock in the morning today. You might have taken idli or dosa, or a bread or a toast in the morning. So it starts with digestion. You can take at least 12 hours approximately of any food to digest and pass through the whole process of digestion. So when it has taken, it takes 12 hours to digest one kind of food. 9 o'clock you have taken your breakfast. So in the night, 9 o'clock, actually it is going to complete its digestive process, isn't it? So, but before that, we have taken after 9 o'clock breakfast, it is still not digested and it's eliminated, it's still inside the body. But 11 o'clock we have taken again a snack, then 1 o'clock we take a lunch, then we dump in some snacks in the evening, and again we put in the dinner in the night. So just visualize what is the amount of food we keep on dumping inside our body while the previous meal is still inside. We don't know whether it is digested, eliminated or not. That is one thing. And the digestion processes just keep going on and we keep on dumping in. So this is what is happening inside us, right? I hope you are visualizing what is happening in the digestion when we take the food. So and it takes lot of energy, as I told, to go through that process whenever we eat anything. So this is the reason you might have observed elders at home would say, once you eat anything, you should not do any strenuous activity right after you eat something, right? And even if you want to study or if you want to pray, any important activities you have to do, they used to say you should do early in the morning. Why? Because the stomach is empty, the energy is there where you can utilize it, you can think better. When you study early morning, that means when the stomach is emptier, you can think much better, right? Once you eat anything, it is very difficult to concentrate on to do something else. This you might have observed probably in the office after the lunch time. It's very difficult to concentrate on work because all the energy goes right to the digestion, and we cannot think, only thing we feel is drowsy and sleepy. So this is about the digestion, the amount of energy what it takes to digest the food. Okay, so if our body has to do detoxification, it has to heal and reverse any issues we have, it has to repair the damaged cells and all the works our body has. But if it is keep on digesting the food we have eaten all the day, from the morning and till the evening, even in the night, when is the body going to do its growth, its repair, healing and detoxification? So what we have to do to preserve that energy for the body, so that it can do its uh, you know the remaining program, like the work like repair and maintenance of our body. So the answer is simple. So we need to give a break to our digestion. How to do that? The fasting. So that's the only answer. Okay, so you don't have to get tensed. Okay, the next process is fasting. What do we do? And we do hear this in a Nature Q center. Everybody gets scared once they listen that, okay, when we go to Nature Q center, they'll put us on fasting. So you don't have to get worried about it. It is a process. It is, it is therapeutic. So it goes on a process where you don't have to get worried. So that's what I'll discuss a little bit about what is overall fasting. All would have heard about fasting. We follow, at least in our Indian culture, we follow religious fasting, like Hindus do Ekadashi and Sankash Chaturthi, Shivratri, Navratris. So on all these days we do fast for a particular time, and the reason could be the religious reasons. It could be spiritual reasons, and even Muslims does Ramzan, and even Christians does Lent, right? So even Jains, they do not eat anything after sunset. So they also follow that particular type of fasting, that is after the sunset they don't eat anything. So this is about the religious. If you don't know about religious fasting, you might have heard about, even in the history for the freedom, the freedom fighters have fasted for the freedom. So at least people would have heard about, whenever they go to a blood test, the doctors would say you have to be on fast for at least 12 hours or 10 hours. So everybody heard about fasting for sure. So what is fasting? By definition, fasting is willing abstinence of food for a particular time of a particular period. So as the name says, it is willingness of, it is with the will. It is not with the force, or it is not with any, but somebody's push that you do the fasting. Fasting has to be done with your own will. Okay, so this is about the fasting. And there are many kinds of fast which we follow in the hospital. So we spoke about religious fast, and in the history we do fast and all, but what we advise in the hospitals is therapeutic fast. That is for the health reasons, health benefits. And there are many kinds of fast, which is like dry fast, where you don't take anything, no fluids or liquids or solids, anything, for a particular duration of time. And there is juice fast. Ideally it is juice diet, where particular type of vegetable juices we do give, and there will be fruit diet where they take only fruit. So there are, and even days also. We advise fasting for 7 days, and even people go up to 21 days or 3 days or 1 day. So there are many types of fast based on what they eat at that particular time, and also the duration of the fasting. So this is about the fasting overall. Now what I am going to talk about is intermittent fasting, because see, doing a long period of fasting and dry fast and all is not really advisable at home to do by yourself, especially if you have not done fast any time, right? If someone is hale and healthy and you have already tried doing fasting, I would recommend once a week you can easily go for a fast, right? If you are fit and fine, and if you are used to do the fasting, it is a good lifestyle which you can adopt. You can once a week go for a fasting. If not, for everybody, the best possible option what you can do is intermittent fasting. So what is intermittent fasting? It is in a day, a particular time you will be eating, and for some particular time you will be fasting. It's like that. For example, we make 2 windows in a day, the eating period and a fasting period. So the eating period could be 4 hours to 8 hours in a day. You can pick up any 4 hours to 8 hours. So it depends on their capacity and their experience, how long it could do the fasting. That's one thing. So ideally, then in 4 to 8 hours, 8 hours is a good measure you can start with at least. So 8 hours you can pick up in a day, and you can eat in that 8 hours window. The remaining 16 hours in the day you will be fasting. So then and there the body's detox and healing will be going on every single day. Ideally in 8 hours, if it comes to as a main meal, you can have twice a day. That is what, in ancient since ancient time we used to follow, eating 2 meals a day, right? We never used to think that we need to eat 6 meals a day, or we need to have 3 main meals and 6 mini meals. This is all just new concepts which have come up. Ideally we used to eat 2 good main meals a day, and even in HRQ centers we do give 2 meals a day. One maybe around 11:30 and one in the early evening around 6 o'clock. In between, we, based on the requirement, we would give maybe vegetable juices or fruits. This is how it goes. So this is about the intermittent fasting, where you have a eating period and a fasting period. These 2 windows you will have to look at. Okay. So and it is not just what you how much time you take the eating period, the eating window. It doesn't mean in the 8 hours you just keep eating on and that will be good. It's not like that. It is also important what you eat and how much you eat. That is also really important. See, I was talking about the fasting. How it's not just fasting what we do. When we do the fasting, after the fast, how we break the fast, that is equally important. In fact, that is more important than how much time you fast. If whenever we give a fasting for 7 days of juices, to break we take 3 days. So there will be 2 days of fruits, and then goes to on raw diet, and then slowly they go to eat the cooked food. So how many days you take to do fast? Thus, at least half the day we take it to come back to the normal food. So even in the intermittent fasting, when you do that 8 hours period, 16 hours of fasting window, when you break it, it is very important you break it slowly, like giving like a raw food. Maybe you can eat fruit, that is the best thing, or you can have some green smoothies, you can have a vegetable salad. Slowly you need to give something raw, then after maybe 2 hours slowly you can give the cooked food. This is the best way which you can try on. And even the cooked food, when they take maybe in the lunch, maybe the second meal, what you call on, best to eat is whole grains. That means no processed, no polished, and not polished foods, or not sugar or anything. Try to eat whole grains, whole pulses, and lots of millets and vegetables and nuts and seeds. This is what it is good to include. Avoid the oily fried food, so that you get the benefit of intermittent fasting. What we eat also is very, very important. So after that, based on the hunger, you can have your snack and have an early dinner, or the last meal before your 8 hour window happens. You can have the last meal with the salad and whole grains and pulses. This is what you can include. To give an example, if you break your fast in the morning, maybe at 11 o'clock, okay, if you break your fast at 11 o'clock, start having a fruit, maybe a bowl of fruit, or you can take some green smoothies, raw, it's a raw food. Then after 2 hours you take the whole grain lunch, maybe at 1 o'clock or 1:30 when you feel hungry. Take some salads with whole grains, pulses and nuts and seeds. Then you started your eating window at 11 o'clock, you're going to end it at 7 o'clock in the evening. So that is 8 hours of the eating period, right? You had your first meal at 11 o'clock, that's the fruits. So you're going to end it at 7 o'clock, 8 hour window. So by 7 you need to wrap up your food. Maybe you can have some salad, some whole grains or rotis and sabzi. So eat accordingly. So this is about the how you can make eating. And you don't have to worry. If you are following 16 hours and 8 hours, most of the time you are sleeping there, right? So now after 7 o'clock, maybe by 10:30, if you go to bed, you will not be hungry till then. So most of the time you will be sleeping. In the morning you may be pushing a little 1 or 2 hours of your breakfast. That's it. So it is no big deal. So if someone really have to have their meal early in the morning at 9 o'clock or something, you can end early in the evening after 8 hours of the window. So this is how you can make it. So this is about how you can make your timing, what you can eat in the eating period. Okay. So and what are the benefits of the fasting? See, there is a proverb also: fasting of the body is a food for the soul. So that is what. So fasting has lot of benefits. I'm talking therapeutically. The benefits could be detoxification. When you are giving rest to your digestion, when all the energy, all the energy is not just using up for the digestion process, your body can stop that energy, and it can use it in many other ways to clear up your skin, to heal your body by detoxing, by breaking your stones, or clearing your digestion, and boosting your immunity. So lot of the things it can have, it will be getting, all that energy can be utilized in that places, and it creates a thing like improving immune system, what I told, which is really important at this particular time, right? This pandemic, we don't know exact proper vaccine or medicine is not yet come up. The only thing what we can do is just to guard ourselves by improving our immunity. In our previous webinars and live sessions also, we keep talking about how we can improve our immunity naturally. So make sure you follow all that, along with eating all that immune boosting foods, improving your sleep and getting hydrated, exercise, everything. Follow the intermittent fasting also. This is really important to boost your immune system. And when you are in intermittent fasting, it creates autophagy, where whenever there is an excess growth in the body, like even in the autoimmune disorders, take it to psoriasis or rheumatoid arthritis or anything, so it is so important that your body can heal at that particular time. So intermittent fasting can create that autophagy in the body. Okay, so whosoever has skin issues, it's a very important thing, they can follow intermittent fasting. It's a very easy thing. Unlike doing fasting for a long days, intermittent fasting is much easier version which anybody can easily follow. And people with digestive issues, as I told, and people who have hunger issues, like people, most of them doesn't know when they feel hungry, right? So they just keep eating for no reason, eating because of conditioning, eating because of stress. So this intermittent fasting can help you get in touch with your hunger signals. It can help you get your proper instincts. It will make you realize when you actually feel hungry actually. So this is very important thing that you can follow. And as I told, detox, it will rejuvenate. And so these are one of some of the benefits of intermittent fasting. And also, whenever we eat anything, there is what we call oxidative stress. A lot of free radicals happens. So it is in way, it's like your antioxidant, no? It clears up your oxidative stress also. It improves your insulin sensitivity, because you're not keep eating all the time. So it improves your insulin sensitivity. So definitely even diabetics can do, if it is controlled diabetes. If they are taking a lot of insulin, or if it is uncontrolled diabetes, it is better they do the intermittent fasting under any proper and guidance, like under any naturopath, any physician's guidance, they can do the intermittent fasting. And most of the people, if they want to lose weight, they go for doing the keto diet, where it's a lot of unhealthy food we take, or we take a lot of maybe the portion size of taking lot of fat or taking lot of protein. So you don't have to go for keto diet. The same effect of ketosis happens when you do the intermittent fasting. So this will help even in burning the fat, especially the subcutaneous fat, the excess visceral fat around your abdomen, that will be burnt when you do the intermittent fasting. So this promotes ketosis, and reduces your oxidative stress, improves immunity, detoxing, and fat metabolization, it creates autophagy. So what else is required? That too, it is sustained weight loss. What we say, when you do intermittent fasting, you can maintain your weight loss. That is most important. Some people will keep yo-yoing, so they lose weight, they gain weight. So if you want to maintain the lost weight, you can follow the intermittent fasting. So, and who else cannot do the intermittent fasting? Who else have to be taking care? If you have a hyperacidity which is not controlled, so then you may have to take somebody's guidance, and then you can do it. It is definitely possible to do, but you can take under the guidance. As I told, diabetics which is uncontrolled, it's better they do it under the guidance of a physician or a naturopath. And who are pregnant ladies, so I would not advise they do the 16-hour fast. They can do 12-hour fast, and as per the their need, they can have food. They don't have to follow the actual intermittent fasting of 16 hours and 8 hours, because there is one more life growing in their body. So it is not really advisable for them to do 16 hours of fast in the pregnancy. Even for the children, they can do 12-hour fast, and they can do 12-hour of eating window. They don't have to follow the 16 hours period of the fasting. So this is about the who can do it and who cannot follow the intermittent fasting. So most of the people can actually easily follow. There is the drawback of not doing is lesser here, and people can do the fasting very easily at home. At that too, at this time, at this lockdown period, where the temptations are less, going out for the functions or parties or eating out or ordering, all those things are reduced now. So what you're eating is mainly the home cooked healthy meals, and you can easily follow this timing. Just make sure you properly make your eating window, and make your the fasting window, and keep your healthy meals ready accordingly. So then you can easily start following. So there could be some crisis, what we say, or some symptoms when you do the intermittent fasting. It could be getting headache, or it could be diarrhea or vomiting or fever. All these things might happen when you do the intermittent fasting, and they are all healthy symptoms, what we say. This is good symptoms. The crisis, what we say, because your body is clearing it up, right? So your body is cleansing. So this is not throwing off the toxins. So you don't have to get worried when this happens. You can just follow the intermittent fasting in a right way. Also stay hydrated when you do this. If you do a long term of fast and you feel this crisis, if you are in the Nature Q center and all, we would give the supportive treatments with water and mud, everything. But if you're doing at home, you can just do intermittent fasting and stay for some days. You can just go with the symptoms, and this will slowly reduce. But this has ample benefits. You can follow intermittent fasting, and if you have any queries related, or if you want anything, you can just let us know. You can chat, and we will be happy to help. And as I told, if you're really hale and healthy, if you're already doing the fasting, you're used to doing the fasting, follow fasting once a week at least. It could be with juices, or it could be with the water. That will really help in clearing or detoxing our body. And this is the need of the hour, to be healthy, to stay healthy, to keep our immune system healthy. It is really, really important. So I hope this helped you, and you will give a try doing intermittent fasting and let us know. Thanks for watching, and take care and stay safe. Thank you.